Chris, does Zach Tui get up to play this week?
No, we're going to hold Zach back, Mitch. Very confident he'll be available next week, but Mitch Duncan will play.
Has he come on quicker than you expected even a week ago, Mitch Duncan?
No, I've been managing expectations, to be honest with you, Mitch. It's been a really long, slow, deliberate recovery that ensured this knee won't affect him at the latter stages of his career. So the long term was the priority initially. And then we thought we had enough time to get him back by the finals without playing him, a week or two, before we really felt we needed to.
Did that ever sort of come into calculations, the fact that you do have the double chance that it would be considerable to rest him another week, or was he always, once he's ready, he's straight in type thing?
No, well, I think he was. It's not a case of when he's ready, he's straight in, because we think he probably could have played before this. So we think this has been a conservative plan. Initially, we did expect there to be pre-finals bye, so it shifted a little bit, but there was enough fat in the plan. Even with the abolished pre-finals bye, that he would play in the final series. So we're always wary of being too optimistic early on, because things are always subject to change. But from a couple of, or at least a few weeks out now, we've been virtually certain that he would play this week.
He's played in a few roles, like he's drifted forward at times, he can run off half back. Will you expect to see Mitch mostly in the midfield, or how are you going to sort of structure him up?
Yeah, it'll be a variety. As you say, he's a flexible player, and he's a really hard runner, and fortunately has been running for a long time. He's up sort of getting close to 50 days of running now. And there are some comparisons around the competition of guys who have had that PCL injury who have come back much quicker, which gives you an indication of how much work he's been able to do given this plan, which we think gives us the scope to play him in a variety of positions without being concerned that he hasn't done enough work.
What are the main takeaways from last week, Chris?
Rob, it
on
was
reflection.
Rob, I'll go back to you afterwards, Mitch. It was disappointing in the end. We made some bad blues and didn't play well enough after being up for a long period of time, but we played very well for portions of the game. So we know our something close to our best footy is there for us. And there were some things we learnt, from the last 40 minutes that I think will help us. But at the end of the day, we're playing in Adelaide, where we're always going to be playing, and we're really excited about the opportunity in front of us. So it's funny, even talking about it now, it just feels like so long ago, because we moved on as a collective really quickly and are focusing on the opportunity in front of us. Mitch?
What does Zach Tui need to do to be available for us as soon as a semi-final? I know you want to progress further, but what does he need to do in the next 7 days to ensure he puts his hand up if you do play next week?
Just continue the training program that's in front of him. Just keep ticking off those days, which we don't think will be a challenge for him. He's probably not dissimilar to Mitch. Completely different injuries, obviously, but not dissimilar in the sense that Zach could probably play this week, which is why we're so confident he'll play next week. We just think discretion's a better part of valour on this one at this time of year.
He went off and spent a bit of time on the bench, and I saw him stretching his calf at stages. Is Paddy Dangerfield 100%? How's he sort of feeling with his calf?
No, his calf's fine. It was his stomach that was the problem, and the associated issues with a little bit of illness. He's over
was that illness leading into the game? As in it's sort of passed now?
No, it came on around in the second half. Yeah, and it's passed, yes. Yeah.
How much do you weigh up the second ruckman? I know I probably ask it every week, but the second ruckman, given what Port do in that space?
Yeah, we always consider what the opposition do when deciding what we're going to go with structurally. But yeah, we always play a second ruckman too. He just happens to play back, where not many teams do that. So for us, it would be considering a third ruckman, which is a strong consideration. That they tend to be a bit taller. I guess it depends on where Georgiades lands as to how tall they end up being. But no, we're confident we've got a couple of structures we could go with that could all work.
I know the plan was to go tomorrow afternoon. Is that set in stone for you guys yet? Or have you had that 100% confirmed?
Oh, Josh, there's quite a bit that's not set in stone, which is a bit surprising, and certainly not the AFL's fault. They're moving heaven and earth as far as we can tell, but the goalposts keep getting moved on them. So we will just take their advice and make sure that we make the best of the situation, and whatever it is, find a way to play our best footy.
And I know you're...
How you're going with
Sorry, Rob.
how you're going with all the uncertainty? Are we just so used to it now that it's, you've just got to roll with the punches, and there's finals at stake, so you just sort of all got to buy in?
Yeah, Rob, I think that's right for us. We've got to roll with the punches, no doubt whatsoever. I think at some point the AFL will make a stand against some of the shifts that are and some of the challenges that they've got. But that's not our challenge. Our challenge is to embrace the uncertainty, and we think we've thrived in the last 18 months as a footy club. So we're not asking for it to be more chaotic, but we're ready for it. And if they're the circumstances in which we've got to perform at our best, then we're really excited about that challenge.
So what are some of the hurdles? Sorry, Chris. What are some of the hurdles that the AFL is suddenly dealing with?
Yeah, I don't want to go into it because, as I said, I think it's something that the AFL are dealing with. We don't have much control over it, but I think they're good questions to ask the AFL.
Chris, are you expecting to head to Perth after Friday night's game regardless of the result?
Yes, we are, yeah.
In that case, how many players are you taking with you? Are you going to take a squad for the whole month, or are you planning to add players along the way?
No, we're going to take the whole list, Josh.
Clayton Oliver obviously had a big night on Friday night. Ollie Wines, it's a similar sort of inside player. Do you think about moving Mark O'Connor in there to try and curb him? How are you going to address that?
Oh, it's always the same, Josh, again, with the good teams. That rarely do they have the one standout player. It's almost always a collective, and it's the same with Port. I think you identified Wines. I'll throw Boak back at you, and then you could come back with Amon or Gray. You're not expecting me to tell you exactly what we're going to do, I know, but what I do want to do is pay my respect to the depth of their midfield.
Sean Higgins was managed last week as the medical sub. Is he a walk-up start to the 22?
We haven't decided on a 22 yet, but yeah, he'd be likely.
Bruce, just keen to get your thoughts on Gary Rowan's form coming back into the side and sort of what you guys will ask of him this week.
Yeah, Gary Rowan's crucial to what we do. He had some interruptions in the second half of the year, but is overall them and in really good health and looks in fantastic form out on the track. He's always been a player for us, at least, where his statistical output doesn't reflect his value to the team. He's going to be a handful for the opposition. So, yeah, if you're asking me about how he's going, I'm very, very confident that he's going to be a crucial player for us.
Everyone's seen the replay of Max Gawn's match-winning mark on the weekend. What's your communication been with Reece Stanley, and how's that played out this week?
Well, we don't play a one-on-one style of defence. Often the ruckman will end up trying to or needing to spoil the ruckman, but we had 17 players down there, so we should have been able to spoil it. So, but in any case, I'm not going to walk you through our review and what we say to players in a private situation. I don't know if we did, it might clear it up for the people commenting on it externally, but we'll just wear the comments and back that we know what we're doing. But we will make mistakes, there's no doubt about that.
Is Reece locked in to play this week? I know it's been a...
Yes, locked in, Mitch.
Chris, does that mean a couple of very stiff players at selection if Duncan and Higgins are in your 22?
Oh, that's been the case for us all year, Kingy. We've got. I don't even want to put a number on it, but there'll be a big group of players that we don't get the chance to pick this week that we think could get the job done if they did get the chance. So yeah, in finals there are always unlucky players.
Will from 9 News Adelaide here. Just a quick one, mate. How much do you read into last year's matchup with Port in the finals, if at all? Is there much reflection on that game?
It's 12 months ago, give or take, so I think that's a long way to go back. We did play them post-bye, round 13 I think it was, which is a little bit more relevant, but no, I don't think either game would be ones that either team would be too hung up on.